Alright, back again with another video here, and I wanted to talk about some of the weekend's events here. I don't have much to talk about the library book sale because most of that's already been dealt with, but I did have a part 2 which may or may not get uploaded. Most of the media has been kind of distributed, and show you one item here. This is Bruce Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town. Hopefully you can see that well enough. Unfortunately, that was an empty jewel case. In the chaos, again, it wasn't that much of chaos, but again, there was one person looking at the CDs and taking whatever, and so I think I grabbed this and not realizing it was 100% empty. I might do something with the artwork there, but I have at least a good jewel case to replace another CD with. So it's no harm, no foul, because I didn't have this before, but again, kind of frustrating that nobody looked at it before it was sent off to the sale. Again, people just need to do a little more research and homework before somebody else. I mean, yes, it's my mistake, and I did check most of the CDs, but there were 3 or 4 that were empty, which is very frustrating, and it was $5 for the entire bag, so it's well worth it. And just for one item I got the previous day for a whole $1, I saved almost $30. So I mean, I'm really happy, and then I found a book that was autographed that's maybe, somebody's listing it for darn near $40, and their copy was not autographed. So anyway, whatever. So I'll show you a few other things here. I'm going to be sending off to Greg Norman. I thought I had. I just used a crud ton of stamps there. But the card was sitting in a pile here, so I guess I haven't. I'm still using these fake Angola stamps or whatever. I will never run out of these, never. I'll just show you just one of the bricks of these Angola stamps here. See? There's just sheets and sheets, and how do I know that they're fake? Well, they don't have any gum on the back of them, and they're made overseas by places to sell by the tons, these are pre-canceled, so the cancel is actually part of the stamp there. It wasn't stamped before or anything, it's actually part of it. And somebody said, oh, how can they get away with it? Well, there's, trickery, deceit, theft, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's sort of legit type of stamps that people throw them in their stamp books, as part of it, so I guess that's something you can do, but I don't have any room in my Angola section for any of these, and so I give these away every time, and people think they're really cool. They like them on the envelope. Somebody said those are really neat stamps, and that's really all they are. This one I think has Lions Club, logo on the corner of it. Of course, they didn't have any permission to use that, but whatever. And then, of course, I got the same amount in trains here. I hate to wreck the trains one, but look at how many gobs and gobs, probably 150 to 100 sheets or more at least of trains of all kinds, again from Angola. I like these a little bit more than the other ones there. But again, I tried to self-adhesive these and it didn't work, so there's that one there. And I got one piece of mail in today, and I mentioned to somebody that the mail is very, very weird. Absolutely very, very weird. So I watched, several people's YouTube videos on their autograph requests, and I have to order every single card. I know there's an LCS, somewhere that I could maybe get some stuff. One is all modern, so I can't send much of that. And the other one are the cards I'm trying to avoid, and then for the vintage stuff, that just, the condition just is not there. It really is terrible. Why would I want to go spend $1, or $2 on a vintage card that's all beat to heck when I can get a better condition one on COMC for 33 cents? Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I have to buy every card, and of course, when you're waiting 3 weeks for 7 cards for TTM fuel, these guys are 88 or 90. The last thing I want to do is, just throw them in my binder empty. And I did find a seller that had a heck of a sale. I wouldn't say heck of a sale, but he had wanted something ridiculous like $20 for each autograph card, and now he's clearing them out at $4 a pop, which is fine because I had to go to eBay, pay $1 for the card, $1 for shipping, that's $2, and then there's some other kind of, the envelope and stamp and all that fun stuff there. So I'm almost at that $4 price. There's shipping involved too, but I'm almost already at that $4 price, and I don't have to give anybody extra dollars. And I was able to pick a couple deceased players from those lots there for one of my vintage sets. But this is what came in here. This came from Santa Ana, California, on one of my famous Forever stamp envelopes that I got at the stamp show for 25 cents. This is why I tell you, go to stamp shows. If for some reason you don't find anything at a stamp show, you don't ever have to go to ever one again. But I say go to stamp shows because there are people willing. If you do your homework, you can get lots of cheap stamp fuel, and it's a fun day. I guess it's a fun day. But from Santa Ana, California, I got a letter, and I was like, oh shoot. Lafitte Pincay Jr. did not sign my card. I was like, ah, crud. Again. So here, this is weird. Mr. Henry is what he says. The card you sent is not me. Russell Bays. So I guess this is Russell Bays. So that is Russell Bays there. On this Upper Deck World of Sports. So I'm going to call him Upper Dork. You know, Upper Deck does not know what they're doing half the time. They just probably went to the web and picked out some sort of picture or whatever. I have no clue. But they didn't do their homework. Somebody just said, oh, here's a jockey. Close enough. They keep selling those cards with the wrong man. I think is a wrong name. Sorry. Thanks for the stamp. I send you one of mine. And then I guess that's Lafitte Pincay there or something like that. Or it's an X or something. I really don't know. But very cool letter there. And so, yeah, it says Lafitte Pincay Jr. on here. And obviously they didn't review it with him because it's the wrong guy on there. So it's not him. So if you send to Russell Bays, maybe if Russell Bays is still alive, then maybe you can write to him. And these are from a set that are not super easy to get. And some are harder to get than others. Maybe he grabbed all of his cards. But this is from Jockey not Jockey World. It is from, this is 2011 Jockeys Guild. So this is a really recent one. I've seen Jockeys Guild before, but there is Lafitte Pincay Jr. in a penny sleeve. I don't believe I sent it in a penny sleeve, so he did that himself. Very nice, very quick return, but I've had this card sitting for at least a year or two before I got around to sending it, and the autograph is right there. I should send him a thank you, but when he was mentioning about thanks for the stamp, so I don't remember exactly what country he is from. Let me just see what it says here. Lafitte Pincay Jr., jockey inducted into the Hall of Fame 1975. I mentioned that was my birth year, and then I believe I sent him a stamp from Panama out of my own personal collection. So I actually took it out of the stamp book, and that's probably the penny sleeve. That's probably the penny sleeve there. I put a stamp in a penny sleeve. And I gave him a stamp from his home country. And I used to do that with certain celebrities, give them stamps from their home country if they were living in the United States or whatever. So I got my original card back for maybe, perhaps, send that out to Russell Bays or whatever his name is. And I got one of one there. But again, another weird, very, very weird transaction there, TTM. And that's all I've been getting is one TTM card and one and nothing else. And then the rest of the week has been zip. All my eBay orders are just like out to lunch. And then speaking of eBay, and I was very nervous because there's a lot of parts of the country that are having difficulties right now, so I don't really want to order stuff from people's eBay stores from them. But there was so I spent last night waiting for some emails to come through that came in around 10:30 or 11, and I was sitting at the computer trying to figure out my Black Friday COMC and my and compare it to eBay. And at the last minute, I said, you know what, I need to look up some Doctor Who autographs. Maybe I'll just throw $5 instead of going back to COMC because there's a card that I want, but it's been sitting there in kind of the wrong category or something like that, so no one will ever see it but me. And it was on ridiculous sale, but I just said, you know what, I don't want to get that card just for that one. So I'm going to do eBay and see what I can find in the $5 Doctor Who category. So I set up for $8 less, and the whole thing was all a mess. And then I'm scrolling down finally. I said, last ditch effort. Okay, this is my last time. And I had, Doctor Who autograph, and then I picked, the series and seasons of one or whatever, the price range and everything. And then all of a sudden I saw a Doctor Who card that didn't say autograph, or I don't know why it was not there. Really weird. And it was at $1.99. I was like, this can't be right. $1.99. Everybody's asking, well, I mean, there's one that was $3 plus shipping. That was so $4 or $5. But everybody was asking $5 and up. I was like, I'm scratching my head. This is not auction. I thought it was an auction, and it was a buy it now. It's like $1.99. And then the kicker was 65 cents shipping. I was like, what? I don't get it. So I went to that seller. He had 8 cards for $2.99 and $1.99. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy them all. Now the other kicker here is that I did not realize that there was one that was $4.50 shipping, $4.60 odd or something for shipping mixed in there. It's like, oh crud. And then I eventually looked at the completed listings to see which ones disappeared. One of them that sold for $1.99 sold way back like a month ago in August or way back in the early September or something like that. So these things have been sitting here, I think, for a month at a $1.99 price range. I also looked to see that a lot of Doctor Who autographs were selling on auction for $1.99, but there was plus $6 for shipping. So, you know, again, I didn't see that, and then I wrote to the seller, said, I know it's all mixed up, and eBay basically did this and said I was not allowed to, you know, message you or anything. If you feel like, you know, giving me a discounted shipping, I understand. If you don't, then I also understand. So, you know, I have not seen anything, any kind of refund department, so more than likely I won't. But I paid $8 in shipping for these cards here, so all these cards cost me $1 extra, which is still within the range of acceptability. But it was just shocking to see Doctor Who autograph for, you know, $1.99 plus, you know, 65 cents for shipping. And if I hadn't, you know, agreed to that, all that, and that one missing card there. And again, eBay is really bad because they basically leave it up to the seller to make the decision afterwards, and so they absolve themselves of whatever shipping that the seller has to. It's really awful because, and again, people still do not believe me to this very day. People said, well, if eBay has a problem, a legitimate problem, then why haven't they fixed it? If they haven't fixed it, it's probably a seller problem, and it's an eBay problem. eBay and PayPal are great in separate entities, but when they join forces and gang up on everybody, then they're terrible. And so eBay basically said, okay, we're going to do it this way, so somebody has to do this multi-step process, and it's not inconvenient for them, it's only inconvenient for the sellers and the customers. So every time somebody has to do a chargeback or a this or that or a credit or something like that, then eBay pockets a little bit of money. And every time that happens, there could be tens of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, even billions of dollars in seller fees that were not necessary. I know that there's some seller fees that are, you know, cut back and removed and this and that, and I can't watch all those reselling videos. And why do I watch reselling videos? Because I want to see what their bottom line is. It turns out to be my bottom line. And again, I don't care what the seller is making, I just want a good deal. And a seller is, you know, willing to put out some deals out there, it's because I think that he should be doing that so that I can see some other items. If you make as much money as you want, but you know, if you become like the lowest common denominator for like Doctor Who autographs, then people will keep coming to you and then start seeing other items and buy more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. So it was a really, really weird transaction. Very, very cheap. You know, these are all on-card autographs, mind you. And then a box of Doctor Who recently was like $160 for autographs. Now, I did see somebody pull 6. But the person that pulled 6 autographs, I have an asterisk here. The guy that pulled 6 autographs is actually one of the people that did artwork for the series. So he was a sketch artist, and they sent him a box to review, supposedly. And so basically what that was is that they probably sent him a pretty decent box, and he got like Amy Pond or something like that autograph. So I don't feel bad for him. And I only feel bad for those other people that, you know, they say there's only 4,000 of these boxes available, but then guess what? Then you've got the US edition and the UK edition, so multiply 4,000, there's probably closer to 8,000 boxes, and so on and so forth. So these things are not as limited as rare, and you've got to watch all the descriptions, because somebody said very limited number, or, you know, limited to 300. Now again, I looked all over the place, and one of those cards was not very limited, and it was not to 300. And then of course all these autographs are the base autographs. They're not the what do you call inscription autographs, and those are selling like hotcakes. When I say hotcakes, I say there's bids on almost every single one of those. Whether they get to the level that you want, it just doesn't matter what card you're looking at. There's always somebody that got a way better deal than you did, always. And then when you try to replicate that deal, it never happens. happens. So that's why I said, you know what, $1.99, I'm just going to take all of these $3, $2 and $3 autographs, and then I'll have 8 Doctor Who autographs to hopefully share in a video, but eBay is not, or somehow my mail is not getting here. And just, you know, cards of the wrong person. Thank you, Upper Deck, and thank you for watching. Alright, just a very quick addition to this video here. This is the card on COMC, the Lafitte Pincay Jr. card here. And actually, if I can get to it right here, the listing says Upper Deck World of Sports Lafitte Pincay Jr. Bill Shoemaker pictured. It is not Bill Shoemaker. It is Russell Bays. According to Lafitte Pincay himself, I looked up pictures of Russell Bays and the other guy here, Bill Shoemaker, and it is not Bill Shoemaker. So it's wrongly attributed somewhere. I don't know where COMC got their information or if it came from Trading Card Database. I'll have to take a very quick look at this, but I basically went to the report error and I told him, I said, I got it straight from the horse's mouth, no pun intended. Lafitte Pincay Jr. told me it is Russell Bays. So that hopefully should clear up any confusions there. I looked at the pictures. It's definitely Russell Bays and not Lafitte, and it's not Bill Shoemaker. And thank you for watching.